From Hanover Insurance Park at Fitton Field, Charter TV3 presents live coverage of the Futures Collegiate Baseball League. Tonight, we kick off our baseball season as the Bristol Blues visit the Worcester Bravehearts. The boys of summer are back on Charter TV3. Hello, everyone. Welcome down to the field. Kevin Shea alongside of Andy Lacombe. And Andy, you and I talking, going up and down this lineup. Half of the starters tonight are returning players from a year ago. However, it is a brand new season for everyone. It doesn't matter if you were here or weren't here. It's kind of a tryout and a gelling period, so to speak.
Yeah, no question. Early in the year, you kind of find out who you have because you don't have everybody yet. Some of the guys on the Worcester Bravehearts are still playing for their college teams in the postseason. But up the middle, Dante Ricciardi, Tom Walraven, and the catcher Nick Berry. That's a good nucleus to have back defensively, especially with all the coordination that has to go on in those positions.
It is the Bravehearts and the Blues. We're back with the opening pitch right after this. Welcome back, everyone. There is Jake the Lion, the Worcester Bravehearts mascot, as we get set to kick off another season of Worcester Bravehearts baseball right here on Charter TV3. Bravehearts and the Bristol Blues. The home opener, the season opener here at Hanover Insurance Park. Nick Berry, local product, former standout at Worcester Academy. And Andy, we mentioned some new names, some familiar faces as well. You see some of the folks coming through there, and Ryan Hart, we saw that's a new name for the Bravehearts. But there are a lot of familiar faces here, and then a lot too that are still playing right now, as there are, the Division I NCAA tournament still going on, the Division II NCAA tournament still going on, a couple pitchers in the Division II World Series. There's only 4 games remaining.
Arguably one of your aces, Frankie Moscatello, who was an all-star a season ago, is pitching very well for his college in Division II, and they are in the championship rounds right now, the Final 4 in Division II, as we get set for our ceremonial first pitch.
Yeah, John Fisher, who plays for Westchester in Pennsylvania, he's also a pitcher in the Division II World Series, one of the Final 4 left. So he and Moscatello could face each other. Moscatello for St. Thomas Aquinas. Whoa, look at that move. Fancy first pitch.
I like it.
Outstanding. Great way to start. Yeah, you had the Shepherd Hill product. Grzecki, who's playing for Florida Gulf Coast. They're in the Division I NCAA tournament. Kaczynski for Marist is in the Division I World Series as well.
Yeah, they have guys in the middle of the order. And the Kaczynski's that one of those guys, middle of the batting order, that they'd love to have here. But obviously you want to support them as they go on and make a run at their college and university. So a lot of different guys you'll see here in the early part of the year, mixed in different spots, and then some new faces will come back in and some familiar faces will come back in and kind of supplement the lineup. This is a point where you gotta get a sense of who you are, but it's going to take a couple of weeks in this league to really get an identity for the team.
Yeah, they have a high school kid, Pat DeMarco, who's going to Vanderbilt, who right now is on the pro tour, where he goes and works out for different teams. The Red Sox love him. He's worked out for the Yankees. He's flying Monday to Chicago to work out for the Cubs. He's going to wait until after the draft. The MLB draft is in 2 weeks. He's projected to go very high in the draft, so then he and his family will make the decision if he's going to sign. Then obviously he goes right into pro ball. If he's not and he's going to go to Vanderbilt, then he would come here and play here for the Bravehearts for the rest of the summer. And he's an outfielder. They could use that outfield help right now. There's not a ton of guys on the roster now, outfielders, because of those that are still playing.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Move your caps.
We get set now for the national anthem here, opening night, Worcester Bravehearts baseball, and a full house expected. And all are on their feet now for the anthem. Let's go to the house and listen in.
Your mics are closed.
Whose cross rise and bright.
God Bless America. Brought to you by Grafton's North Street School, 5th and 6th Department Band, led by Mr. Michael Castro, instrumental music teacher.
All right, perfect. Here we go. God Bless America, the national anthem. We're about ready to get going. We're pleased to be joined now by the District Attorney, Joseph Early. And you guys just finished a campaign with the high schools out there. Everyone had an opportunity to make a PSA, a public service announcement about drunk driving and the dangers of it. And you had some winners. And of course, everyone, I'm sure
we had 10 winners.
You were psyched that everyone participated, but tell us a little bit about the program, how it came to be, and just how excited you were with all the participation. How many high schools took part?
First of all, Kevin, Andy, thank you. Good to see you out here again. We had 10 high schools from the Worcester County area. In the Executive Office of Public Safety, Danny Bennett, put out a grant. And what we did was we wanted to bring awareness to drunk driving, especially with the warmer weather, the kids graduating from high school. 10 high schools competed. They came out with some outstanding videos. They're on our Worcester DA Facebook page. You can see all of them. Bellingham was the winner, but in reality, every one of the high schools were winners because it's going to save some lives. It brought prevention and awareness to one of the biggest problems we have, and that's drunk driving.
Yeah, and I know that's been one of since you took office, it's kind of been one of your focuses has been prevention. That you've said, time and time again, you'd rather prevent, whether it's accidents, whether it's crimes, prevent them than solve them and put people, behind bars afterwards.
And absolutely, and that's why I got into this, give something back. And look, when you're preventing crime, you're really making it better for everyone. Everyone in the whole county, the 10 great schools competed in this, and I'm just thankful that everyone did the great job that they did.
You've done some TV in your day, and now you got to see all the production that these kids were able to do. Pretty good stuff. I've seen a few of them. And it's amazing what the kids came up with and the meaning that they put into the effort here.
For sure. I mean, you can look at all of the videos on our Facebook page, but the winner, the kids went out, they were drinking from red Solo cups, they were in the woods. It transitions to an accident, and then it transitions to a police officer knocking on a mother's door in the middle of the night, and you can see him lip the words, "Your son is dead." And it gives me goosebumps even talking about it. It really was a powerful message, and these kids did a great job with it. All of them did, all 10 schools. I wish I could have given out 10 awards, but we had everyone down tonight. We gave them tickets to the Bravehearts opener. They got to eat a meal thanks to the Credence out down the left field area. It was a win-win situation for everyone.
Yeah, that's perfect. And I know with you having young kids and having a young family, it probably is a little bit more personal even than if your kids were, say in their 20s or 30s.
It does, and for so many different reasons. The hardest part of my job is talking to people in pain. And when you get someone who's lost a child, a parent, a loved one in a motor vehicle accident, it's just that grief is unbearable. It's unmentionable. And to that end, that's why we try and prevent this tragedy. So those conversations don't have to be had. And having kids who just got their licenses, you worry about it. From the time they leave the door till the time they get home, you worry about everything.
And in these projects, these kids, it was like a full day at the DCU Center, right? They heard from a motivational speaker, someone who had been impacted by an accident like that, and just they were able to kind of absorb that and then put their creativity to work.
Yeah.
And how the importance of getting it to high school kids that age and kind of getting it into them, because they're starting to drive, they're starting to get more responsibilities and more independence as they get older.
Yeah, and especially right now, we know when the warm weather comes, nights like this, the kids drive a little faster, they take more chances, they're more likely to take more risks. That's why the right time for the message is now. The right time is always. And I know that the work that these kids did will save lives. Not everyone, but some kids will think before they drink and drive.
Yeah, and that's the main thing. Well, we know you have a busy schedule, but we appreciate you stopping by and taking some time for us. And I know you'll be on the trail this weekend as Doherty continues on in the baseball districts, and your son J.J. Early leading the Highlanders.
Well, Matt Schick, the Schick twins, there's a lot of good kids there. They have a great team. It's a nice fit, and a great win over a really good South team yesterday. Their coach back has just brought them up to another level. Looking forward to it. Nothing like baseball in the spring.
No, it's great. It's great. Thanks so much, Joseph Early, District Attorney.
Thanks, Kevin, Andy. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
All right, we're getting set to get underway here. Our starting pitcher, Billy DeVito, from the University of Hartford. Now, he was Hartford's opening day starter. They took on Arizona. There was 7,000 people in the stands. So one of the things that Kevin Hardigan was saying, one of the assistant coaches here for the Bravehearts, and a guy who does a lot of the player personnel, that he's not going to be awed by playing in front of a packed house here tonight, and said he's got a real good fastball, upper 80s, low 90s, slider as well. When he can command that fastball, though, he's very tough because it jumps. That ball just jumps on hitters.
He didn't take a win in that Arizona game, as you wouldn't expect necessarily. The Hawks taking on one of the powers of the Pac-12, but he did get a win over Butler earlier this season, and he had a save and a win over UConn. So that's an impressive win over a high D1 program. Hartford getting that win, and in those big situations.
Chris Davis leads it off. He's a Connecticut native from Princeton University, and so many kids on this Bristol team from Connecticut, almost the entire pitching staff. When they get into some of the position players, they do have some folks from other parts of the country, but heavy from the Nutmeg State. The Bravehearts swinging around. DeVito strikes out the first batter he faces, so a good start.
Well, DeVito's a nutmegger himself, out of Connecticut. And a fun fact on him, Kev, I found this out through the University of Hartford Sports Information Office. His great uncle Andy Robustelli in the New York Giants Hall of Fame. So he comes from an athletic bloodline.
That's good. Yeah, I was going to say that is good bloodlines right there. That is good family genes. This is Jake Frasca, the number 2 hitter for Bristol. Another good thing, too, with DeVito in terms of the Bravehearts is he didn't throw a lot of innings this year in college. Chopper to Walraven is short. Fires on to John Friday. Friday is a tough job right now, looking straight into the sun. This, for the next probably inning or half inning, it's really tough over there at first base. You're looking directly into the sun.
You know, we mentioned that middle infield with Walraven and Ricciardi, but to have that first baseman and Friday back, and he had a great year for the Bravehearts a season ago with 280, 281 on the year, and coming off a big spring at Franklin Pierce.
Griffin Garabedian, the number 3 hitter, second baseman. Squared to bunt, pulled it back, it's in there for a strike. So DeVito's starting off throwing the ball very accurately, but I started to say he didn't throw a lot of innings. He was like in between 35, 40 innings total for the season. So one of the things that, you know, one of the problems, it did nick him, so he's going to go down to first. One of the problems, though, they have with some of the pitchers, in particular these pitchers now that are still going in the Division I, Division II World Series, is they've thrown a lot of innings, and now they're continuing to throw a lot of innings here in the postseason. So when the Bravehearts get them, they're going to have to rest them a little bit and kind of give them different roles. Like some that are starters on their college team may be relievers here. They'll just give them an inning or 2 here or a closer.
You're drinking the Kevin Hartigan Kool-Aid right now. I can tell right now. I can almost hear his words. But he's right. He's 100% right.
He's one of these guys that they can go straight off the hop.
Right.
No worry about innings for him.
But you talk. I mean, we were talking before this. We even got to the ballpark today, and you've seen Ryan O'Rourke this week.
Yeah.
Of the Minnesota Twins, who just had to get a Tommy John, some form of the Tommy John surgery. But he had limited innings in high school and maybe a little in college. And his doctor said to him, what?
He said, you're surprised
you're late,
you're late for this procedure, 29 years old.
So many issues with arms, people overthrowing too many innings. It starts at the Little League and at the AAU level.
Yeah, it does.
And you know, Ed Riley, Jack Riley's on this team. Ed Riley's a big proponent of kind of keeping arms stretched. Now, he's a pitcher and played for the Tornadoes and played for the Pawtucket Red Sox. And I always see him advocating for, you know, less is more.
Yes.
Especially at that young age.
Yep. And you know why?
Taking care of those arms.
Ed was a guy who they overthrew Ed in high school. He took the ball every time they asked. He was the Gatorade Player of the Year in Massachusetts and was a starter on varsity since his freshman year. But literally threw his arm out. His shoulder was hurt when the Red Sox signed him. He went and pitched, eventually had to have surgery. And that was a big reason why, you know, of course it was a long time ago. They didn't have the advancements they have today. But a big reason why he got to AAA and just didn't get that one next step to the majors. And he knows that because of overuse as a young kid.
You know, we started with a public service announcement from the DA, and now a public service announcement from Kevin Shea and Andy Lacombe.
Don't throw the kids' arms out when they're 8 and 10 years old. Let them relax. J.P. Ricciardi has said several times, the worst position your kid can play in Little League is pitcher. Because they do, they throw him out, and then if he's playing Little League and AAU, there's no pitch counts in AAU. So he could pitch for a Little League on a Tuesday, pitch for AAU on a Wednesday. It's up to those coaches to pull it back. On the ground, Walraven deep in the hole, it's short, over to second, not in time. And quickly now, a little 2-out rally for Bristol.
No shot,
2 men
really.
on.
No shot really for Walraven. Slowly hit into the hole between third and short. Pretty good wheels by Griffin Garabedian getting to second base. You see how deep he has to go in the hole. His only play is to second. And he made it closer than it really should have been with a good throw. But Garabedian, good bit of base running there. And the Blues can try to strike here with 2 down. Don't forget the Bristol Blues are a team that have been to that final. They lost to the Bravehearts a couple of years ago in the Futures final. So this is a good organization, and they do a nice job down there in Connecticut.
Cooper Mroka at the plate with an RBI opportunity, 2 on, 2 out. Mroka playing his college ball at UMass Amherst. Billy DeVito ahead in the count. No balls and a strike. DeVito delivers the slider, and Roca got a piece of it, and the count goes to no balls and 2 strikes.
Filling in here.
There you go.
Sellout
Get it going.
crowd,
Off those
standing
feet.
room only here at Hanover Insurance Park.
0-2 the count now.
And they're rumbling, trying to will the pitcher DeVito to his 2nd strikeout of the inning, try to get out of this one.
Again, that sun setting low over Rotman's furniture
All right, let's get those feet stomping.
as the shadows long in the outfield, creeping near the infield. The 0-2 pitch, and the fastball is fouled back and out of play. The count will remain 0-2.
DeVito was a 3-sport star in high school. Played football, basketball, and baseball. Didn't specialize.
No, I was going to say you love that. And you know what, so many, when you hear pro athletes talk, the majority of them say that all the time. Don't specialize. Play everything. And you hear so many of them say, I played 3 sports in high school. I played 2 sports in high school. I played whatever was in season. And it helps. Even
Let's
Ryan
get those
O'Rourke
feet
was saying that there was
stomping,
some
Bravehearts
stat out there of how many the pitchers in the majors, that over 50% of them went to college, because it saves your arm, because you don't pitch as much. Although the colleges now, it's even different than when he went to college, because now they start so early. I mean, they're starting literally probably a month earlier or a month and a half earlier than even when Ryan was in college at Merrimack.
Now DeVito's worked his pitch count up a little bit in this inning after a quick 2 outs. Trying to get the batter here.
2-2 pitch in on the hands, foul back and out of play.
Credit to the Blues. They fought off a lot of pitches here. Again, it's early in the future season. It depends how many weeks off did the pitchers have. How many, some of these guys haven't played competitive baseball in a couple of weeks. Some are just getting off their seasons. And, do you work them back in? Can you pitch them? Can you pitch them 6, 7 innings, or do you have to work? Put them on a bit of a count early in the year.
2-2 pitch in the air, shallow right field. Chad Miller coming on, and he calls off the other 2 players, Ricciardi and Friday, and makes the catch. After a half an inning, the Blues strand 2. We are scoreless. And welcome back to Hanover Insurance Park. A sold-out crowd here tonight for the season opener, the home opener. The 2017 season underway, the 4th season for the Worcester Bravehearts. What an impact they've made. They've won 2 league championships in their first 3 seasons, went to the league championship last year, hosted the All-Star game last year, and what could only be described as a rousing success. It was a phenomenal, we broadcasted a phenomenal game, but more just the whole atmosphere and the carnival-like atmosphere, everything surrounding it. They shut down the road here behind the press box and had games out there, food trucks out there. It really was a tribute to
for the Bravehearts from
the Creedon family, to the Bravehearts, and to the city of Worcester as well.
And Mr. Creedon was out. He was embracing all the players and the coaches in the pregame, thanking them and wishing them well for this season to come. And the more big announcements for baseball here in Worcester were made this week.
Tommy Walraven, good contact hitter from the University of New Haven, the leadoff batter for the Worcester Bravehearts.
Bravehearts announced this week they're going to be hosting the Japan and Team USA collegiate national teams. They'll play an exhibition. They'll also play the Futures collegiate team prospects here at Hanover Insurance Park in July.
You were talking about the different layoffs that some kids have had, and we were talking yesterday to Nick Barry, to Dante Ricciardi, and Joe Keiko, and it varied. Dante's team got knocked out early, so he said he's had about a month off, so felt good and felt fresh and rested. Meanwhile, Joe Keiko and Nick Barry each had about a week off total since their teams were done playing. So it's not a lot of time off,
right,
when you're talking about finishing your college season. your year of academic year, college as well. You got all the finals and all that, and then here you are 5 days later, and you're ramping it up for a full season of Futures Collegiate Baseball League.
And Walraven, one of those guys, because he plays with Keiko at the University of New Haven. He took a quick 4-pitch walk.
Well, just the way they draw it up to get the leadoff man on.
Edmund.
Dante Ricciardi is a player who they feel has just gotten better and better every season, and has gotten better and better as a hitter every season as well.
Malachi Edmund, the starter for Bristol, working quickly.
Dante had a great year down in Florida, and he's going to Bryant University next year. You know, his mother's excited that he's going to be closer to home. Mariano going down to Florida, though. Her youngest son is a part of this Bravehearts team. He just finished up his career at Worcester Academy, winning a championship. Back to the pitcher, on to second for one, the throw to first, and it pulls Gillespie off the bag, and Ricciardi will be there at first base on the fielder's choice.
Tough play for Edmund. He makes the grab, and then he fires it wide of the bag, left field side. Shortstop does well just to make a play on it. Frasca, who's listed as a pitcher, by the way, playing short.
Oh yeah, it's a strong arm. You saw
And
that.
he fires
from
that
his
across,
knees
yeah.
falling backwards and fired it to first, and had enough mustard on it to get Ricciardi if it was accurate. John Friday, little flare. Frasca and the third baseman, Roca, collide. Frasca holds on.
Again, first game, you've had literally a week, maybe not even a week worth of practices with these guys. The Bravehearts came in on Sunday and Monday on Memorial Day. Bristol likely the same, and rain throughout New England the last couple of days, and not a lot of field time and communication time with your new teammates.
No.
A nice job by Edmund, working quickly after getting the fielder's choice. Really jammed a good hitter in Friday to loop that one out.
Brett Koffel from St. Leo's.
Friday hit 326 at Franklin Pierce this past spring. He's a dangerous hitter in the middle of the lineup for the Bravehearts.
Brett Koffel now the cleanup hitter. St. Leo's University down in Florida. So many great Central Mass products have gone down to St. Leo's. J.P. Ricciardi is one of them who went through there.
Koffel had 7 home runs this spring with
pop.
St. Leo's. He can play. In high school, he was a player of the year in 6A in Florida. A lot of ball players down there.
And he lines one into right field. Sharply hit. Ricciardi moves up to second. Koffel has the first hit of the game.
Goodness.
A 2-out single, and now there's 2 on for Trevor Jensen.
Bristol's kind of chucking it around a little bit. Out there in right field, a little bit of a bobble, and then gunned it to third, but a good piece of hitting. And his hands in and drilling it to right. Koffel can play, he can hit. I think they're excited about him. They're excited about, I think, what they can be in the middle offensively. They're just not fully there here on night 1. They're still waiting for some guys to get off of their college circuit. But Koffel, I think, has got the potential to be a big pickup offensively.
Here's Trevor Jensen, plays at Tulane University. They're very high on him too, happy that they were able to get him and bring him into the fold.
Jensen's one of these guys. He's a Florida guy who came out of the St. Petersburg college thing that Jack Riley and Dante Ricciardi played for.
Jack's happy to be home. I saw him before the game. He said, I'm home. I'm back and I'm home again. Big smile on his face. He's going to play at UMass Lowell next year. Jack, a big left-handed pitcher. The Bravehearts will be counting on this summer.
What a difference it'll be. He's played in the Midwest for a couple of seasons in the summer league, but to come, he pitched here right off a high school season. To play here again to see where he's come, it's going to be interesting to watch.
Jensen follows that one back. 0-2 the count on Trevor Jensen. Malachi Edmund looking to pitch out of a jam here with 2 on and 2 outs. Scoreless in the bottom of the first from Hanover Insurance Park, Fitton Field. Kevin Shea and Andy Lacombe, thanks for joining us tonight for Bravehearts baseball, our first game of the season in the summer. On the ground through the left side, Ricciardi being waved home. Here comes Ricciardi, here comes the throw. It is not in time. Dante Ricciardi scores the first run of the year for the Bravehearts. An RBI single for Trevor Jensen, and it is 1-0 Worcester.
I'll tell you, this is a nice job by Trevor Jensen. This pitch not ideal, missing inside. Jensen goes down and gets it. And just gets enough. Through the left side, Ricciardi running all the way. His manager, J.P. Pine, is just left off of your screen. He was all the way down the line, base coaching at third.
And he's aggressive, which I love. Aggressive on the base pass, J.P. Pine. What a tremendous job he has done. Second year here as the manager for Worcester, and just finished up his second year with Clark University and continues to break records. Broke a record 2 years ago for wins and then broke that this past year for Clark. They had another tremendous season, and everyone that plays for him, whether it's Clark, it's the Bravehearts, all love him as a manager, as a baseball guy, as a person. They just say he has such a good way with the players.
He shattered the Clark baseball program wins record the team did this past spring. And they've got some really talented guys.
2-0 pitch.
The former head coach, Jason Falcon, is a batting, or he calls himself the runs coach, but he's the hitting coach for Holy Cross. They play in the NCAA tournament tonight. So Clark is getting a lot of success. JP now, then Falcon had to leave and he became more successful here. It's got to be Joe Brady's fault. I blame Joe Brady.
There's a common denominator.
The athletic, one of the athletic directors there.
Joe Keiko now with a 2-2 count. You know, Joe Keiko, you talk about great three-sport stars, and he was that in high school. Football, basketball, baseball, at Worcester Academy, at Holy Name. Just a phenomenal athlete, such a strong player. Lines one into left field. Koffel being waved home. Here comes the throw, it's up the line. Koffel scores. An RBI for Joe Keiko, and it's 2-0 Worcester. Keiko taking second on the throw.
Now Logan Green is the right fielder. He's being tested already. I think with 2 outs, this is just a gamble to send, and JP Pine takes it. A good throw gets the runner easily, but the throw's up the line. You make the right fielder make the perfect throw to get your guy, and it's a good call by the manager. 2-0 Bravehearts.
Chad Miller, the 7th batter of the inning, and he fouls one to the right side, but they are really making Malachi Edmond work here in the first inning. His pitch count continuing to climb. The Bravehearts with a 2-0 lead.
You love that kind of philosophy. You know, you're not sure exactly the speed that Koffel, you've seen Koffel for like 4 days, but make the right fielder make a play.
Yep.
And if he throws them out, tip your hat and go into the dugout and bring your defense out. But if he does it, you're going to get a run. And that's exactly what happened.
Chad Miller with a good RBI opportunity here. 2 on for Miller. 2 outs. Miller, the right fielder, a 1-1 count. Swing and a miss. 1-2. As the shadows growing longer here and covering a large portion of the infield. The first baseman now is in the shadows. So if it's a throw from short or second, it's okay. That throw from third, still, you're going to be looking a little bit into the sun, but not nearly like it was 5 minutes ago. In there for a strike, so Edmonds gets a strikeout to end the inning, but the Bravehearts strike for 2 runs after 1 inning here at Hanover Insurance Park. Bravehearts 2 and the Blues nothing. Welcome back, everyone. A beautiful night. The home opener for the Worcester Bravehearts. A packed house here, sold out crowd. Gorgeous evening for baseball, and so far for the hometown crowd. They couldn't ask for more. The Bravehearts putting 2 runs up in the bottom of the first to take a 2-0 lead.
For Bristol from UConn, designated hitter number 34, Ben Maycock.
Ben Mayock, the DH, will lead it off here in the top of the second for the Bristol Blues. Billy DeVito, who started off strong in the first inning, getting a strikeout and a ground out, and then ran into a little bit of trouble before getting the last batter to fly out to right field to end the inning in strand 2.
Mayock's a big lefty out of UConn. Down 0-2. Good pace from our pitchers, although they got slowed up. Each got into a little bit of a bind in their first inning of work. DeVito battled through.
1-2 pitch to Mayock, swing and a miss. And DeVito strikes out the first batter he faces here in the top of the second.
Well, starts the second inning the way you started the first. Strikeout swinging. Second on the night for Billy DeVito.
Now DeVito spotting his fastball well, and that's the key to his success. Kyle Pileski, the first baseman, the number 2 hitter here in the second inning. We talked about the wear and tear on pitchers, but how about a catcher too? Nick Berry behind the plate, line shot right at Dante Ricciardi, out number 2. But you think about a catcher and all the innings that Nick Berry catches up at UMass Lowell, and just the physical toll that a season takes on the body of a catcher. He gets a week off, and here he is back behind the plate with what they call the tools of ignorance in the trade, ready to sacrifice his body again.
No question. Look at Barry. He gets down. He sticks the leg out a la Tony Pena from years past, the old Pittsburgh Pirate and Boston Red Sox catcher.
On the ground, Ricciardi can't catch up to it. It's into right field, and that's the first hit of the game, and it gets by the right fielder, Chad Miller. And aggressive base running. Logan Green takes second on the error. And Bristol's got a runner in scoring position with 2 outs.
Heads up base running by Green. It's all in front of him. This one just hit too hard for Dante Ricciardi to go down and get. Okay, this is the second. We've had 2 outfielders make a little bit of an issue out there. One with Bristol, and then here, Chad Miller. Just maybe misjudging the ground out there a little bit, and Green takes second.
Number 9 hitter, Max Guillaume. Looks at the first pitch, it's a ball. Nick Berry's going to go out and talk to his pitcher, Billy DeVito. So 1-0 the count to the number 9 hitter. DeVito, the pride of the University of Hartford. Fastball in the upper 80s, low 90s. Good slider as well. That time the fastball up and away. Ball 2. 2-0 Worcester Bravehearts in front. Bristol with their first hit of the game, Logan Green. Swing and a miss. Count goes to 2-1. And the field now almost entirely in shadows. There is a little stripe that goes by home plate that is still in the sun, and that is it. As we have a standing room only crowd here at Hanover Insurance Park in Fitton Field.
And they're playing here all weekend, Saturday, Sunday. Good opening weekend for the Bravehearts in their 4th year.
Swing and a miss. And the count goes full.
Good hard fastball
All right,
upstairs.
Bravehearts fans, 2 strikes.
A little bit of a challenge delivered.
Yep.
Let's get those feet moving.
Here comes the payoff pitch from DeVito. He got him. Got him looking. DeVito, 2 strikeouts in the inning. After 1.5, Worcester leads it 2-0. Welcome back, everyone. Bravehearts leading the Blues 2-0. Bottom of the second. Nick Barry, the catcher, leads it off for Worcester, local product out of Grafton, Massachusetts. And out of Worcester Academy as well. Nick Barry said he's still getting used to these pitchers, a lot of them. Little flare to the shortstop. A couple steps deep onto the outfield grass. Jake Frasca makes the catch. But he said yesterday, he said, yeah, I'm just trying to learn some of the pitchers. There's a lot of new guys. And he goes, I caught a couple dudes that have some pretty good stuff.
A couple dudes.
Here's Brian Hart out of Bryant. Division I player and going to be a college teammate of Dante Ricciardi's next year.
Also Ryan Ward out of Millbury down at Bryant, who played for the Bravehearts a season ago.
And he was phenomenal. That was right from high school last year that Ryan Ward
led the team in hitting.
Jumped right out. But he got hurt, unfortunately, early on in the season for Bryant and battled through some injuries, but was playing very well for Bryant. As a freshman, just a stud.
Ryan Hart hit 175 in 27 games for the Bulldogs of Bryant. Scored 8 runs.
In there for a strike, 2-2. You never hear anyone say a bad word, too, about Ryan Ward. Everyone, you know, his high school coaches, anyone that ever came in contact with him said, boy, what a nice kid. What a really, really nice kid. Of course, Ron Silvestri, legendary baseball coach, is the coach down at Millbury. He coached Ryan Ward, longtime coach here at Worcester Tech in the city.
In the city, yeah.
Coach Timmy Collins. Coached a lot of good ones, won a lot of games. Swing and a miss, and Hart goes down on strikes. And so Malachi Edmonds starting off the bottom of the second very strong. 2 up, 2 down. Top of the order. Coming up now with Tommy Walraven.
Needs kind of a quick inning, economical with his pitches. After giving up the 2 runs and facing 7 batters in the first inning. He's in a little bit of a groove here, retiring 3 in a row. It's up to Walraven to kind of just take him out of this rhythm he's in.
Walraven walked on 4 straight pitches to start off the bottom of the first.
It may be the opener here at Hanover Insurance Park, but the Creedence Chicken Fingers are in mid-season form.
They are, it's like candy.
Oh my goodness.
Really like candy. It is incredible. He misses. 3-0. I would say that's the #1 item when you come to the ballpark. If people say, what should I get? I would say get the chicken fingers and fries. Start from there and then branch out. But the chicken fingers and fries, it's candy. And now Walraven walks on 4 straight pitches. So Edmund has been moving right along. And then Walraven draws the walk. And now here comes Dante Ricciardi. Ricciardi reached on a fielder's choice and scored the first run of the game. On an RBI from Trevor Jensen. Such a mature young man, Dante Ricciardi, as he chops and foul. You and I had a chance. He did a senior project at Worcester Academy with us. You know, he's a senior in high school and just had such a great maturity about him then. And it's a credit to his mom and dad.
Yeah, 2 good young men. Austin Young, who plays at UMass Lowell, and had a great season for them. And Dante Ricciardi out of Worcester Academy. Got to spend the summer. Of course, you know, the big guy here sticks him on me to go to the games.
It was when
Yeah, these kids are doing work. These kids are, well, yes, yeah, you have a good excuse.
Pitch gets away and Walraven moves up. You know, we were at the hospital at UMass.
I get this. Hey, by the way, there's 2 kids coming from Worcester Academy. You're going to need to take them out.
You're going to have to get them out of the parking lot this afternoon and then just take them around. I'll be back in a couple days.
So here's the big secret to the instructors at Worcester Academy. Kevin may have been the advisor on the project, but he never even talked to the kids.
That's a lie. BMX Austin Young, we used to talk about him putting together
That's right.
BMX motorcycles in his basement.
That's right. I still hear from those guys. Well, Dante and Austin, we still hear from them from time to time.
Austin
Two
Young's a
great
good
young
character.
men.
He's a good character, isn't he? But of course, you know, in Dante and Mariano, they've grown up around Major League Baseball, 2-2 the count. And you can see just the maturity, though, and the way they handle themselves, the way that they treat the game.
Well,
You can tell that it's different.
They have a great family. There's no question about it.
And a great aunt in Mary Ricciardi, who's a phenomenal cook. Their mother's a great cook, too, but I know that everyone in the family touts Mary's cooking. The count goes full to Dante.
You're just trying to get good seats at the next Venerini Academy middle school game.
You and I would.
We got courtside seats from Mary that night. That was great.
That was outstanding. We saw St. Mary's and Venerini. Little skinny Brady Shea out there running up and down the court.
Hey, good swing, son.
Part of the reason we do these games, Kev he's just giving shout outs throughout the entire game.
We got Gordy Cook down there sitting in the second row. Man of the Year. The Oxford Business Association. It's a cavalcade of stars here tonight. There's the payoff pitch to Dante Ricciardi. Walraven on second. Ricciardi slices that one. Foul into the seats. A hot shot.
Remember Dante, he played as a high schooler, and then he came back, had a great season a year ago with these Bravehearts. Got better, and they're, like you said, expecting even bigger things here in the third go-around.
Payoff pitch to Ricciardi. On the ground to second base. Over to first for the out. After two complete here in Worcester, the Bravehearts on top of the Blues, 2-0. Big crowd on hand here tonight as a packed house to open up the 2017 season for the Worcester Bravehearts. Sold out tonight, standing room only. And the Bravehearts giving the hometown folks a lot to cheer about in the bottom of the first inning as they scored 2 runs. They lead it 2-0 here as we begin the top of the third. Billy DeVito, the starting pitcher for Worcester, continues on the hill. And a good season at the University of Hartford.
Chris Davis played at Princeton.
Smart kid. A lot of fighters in hockey have come out of Princeton.
Only appeared in 8 games, though, this past spring at
Come on,
.231
Bravehearts fans, let's make some
with an
noise for
RBI.
first strike.
5 runs scored. Shares a name with the multiple Orioles outfielder, Chris Davis.
The Westgarth brothers.
Yeah,
came from
I remember
Princeton.
the Westgarths.
Mike
That
Moore,
was pretty good there.
Morsey was Princeton. A lot of tough hockey players and fighters. We always wondered, how do these guys are going to Ivy League schools and they're some of the toughest guys in the AHL.
The fighters are always the nicest guys, too.
It's true.
It's kind of on the ice, you don't want to mess with them.
one more
Off the
time.
ice, they're good
Yeah,
people.
as kind as you could ever ask for.
My niece, Katie Grell, loves the Colorado Eagles. They are in the ECHL, and they're in the Kelly Cup Finals right now. And she knows the penalty minutes for all her top guys.
Which is outstanding.
Yep, loves hockey. Worcester Railers play at Colorado next season.
You need to make the road trip out there. Walk to Chris Davis,
Now batting for
the leadoff
Bristol,
hitter.
shortstop, number 27 from Sacred Heart.
Well, this is the thing too now, the Worcester Railers have to wait until the Kelly Cup is over, till the finals over, to start signing players. So they got all these guys that they've been working on, and Jamie Russell has been driving all over the U.S. and Canada and scouting guys in the juniors and college, and they got to wait until that Kelly Cup's over, and then they can sign players. They were at the State House today. They presented the governor, Charlie Baker, with a Railers jersey. Whoops, the throw goes into right field. And Davis is on his way to third, and he's being waved home. Here comes Davis to the plate. Here comes the throw. He is safe. And the throw gets away, and Jake Kraska winds up on third base. And now we got ourselves a 2-1 game.
Well, this throw from Allraven to Ricciardi just well wide.
25 for Southern Connecticut State, Griffin Carabedian.
A little off balance. Kind of had to rush the throw because of the good speed from Davis. Now, afterwards, that ball looked like it got tied up maybe in a banner down there, so the right fielder had a trouble, Chad Miller did, picking it up. That allowed Davis to come around and score from first base. That is
Hi, Jake.
that's a summer league run.
Yeah.
You know, that's a run that probably doesn't happen in the college ranks because you've been playing together and you're in a good rhythm.
Right.
But here again, night one, new team.
Timing's off.
Timing's a little off.
Jake Frasca winds up on third.
Score that an error on the shortstop, and it really is a multi-base error.
Yeah.
Allows Frasca to third and a couple extra bases for Davis to score.
Garabedian, the number 3 hitter. He reached after being hit by a pitch in the first, was stranded on second base. He's got an opportunity here with nobody out in the top of the third, a 2-1 game. Just trying to get a ball to the outfield, even to the right side of the infield, and he does do that. Ricciardi with a nice stop, only play is at first from the seat of his pants. Fires to first to get the out, but Griffin Garabedian does his job and will knock in Jake Frasca, and we're all tied up at 2.
Yeah, pretty good hit.
Next up
Pretty
for
good
Bristol,
hard hit ball
pitcher,
here.
Number 10 for Southern New
Ricciardi
Hampshire,
takes it on the
Josh
short hop.
Zabersky.
The runner at third wasn't going on contact, which is a little strange to me on that side of the field.
Especially the second baseman.
A
Ricciardi was
delay,
playing deep.
yeah, he delayed on the way home, but there was no shot at the plate.
Good curveball, buckling the knees of Jake Zabersky.
A lot of times you'd go on contact, but nobody out, maybe you take that chance.
You would think that the Bravehearts would concede the run with nobody out.
Come on, Bravehearts fans, let's hear you.
And the way that they were positioned defensively,
Oh, the
it looked
infield
like
was
they were.
back.
Come
Yeah,
on,
no
you can do
question.
better than that.
But it worked out still for Bristol, and they've tied the game. The 0-2 pitch misses. Count goes 1-2 to John Zaversky. 1 out here in the top of the
Keep it
third.
going.
Bristol already with 2 runs in. The bases are empty, but we're tied up at 2 apiece. And
Heads up.
This
is
has,
fouled back.
this almost has an atmosphere feeling
Buddy,
of
if
those
that hits
camp
my
days,
car,
those kids days.
Yeah.
You're gonna have some words.
When the park is full, the kids are bouncing up and down.
It's a great energy.
It is.
Great energy in the ballpark tonight.
Chuck full of fans tonight.
Zips down there
Come on,
taking
Bravehearts
Zip
fans,
Zickfeld
one more
taking
time.
pictures.
Let's get those feet
Looks
going
like he's
for
ready to go on safari
Yeah,
with
Zip.
that tan vest. Swing and a miss. DeVito gets the strikeout. 2 down.
Fourth strikeout for DeVito. Comes at a good time. So they can get back into the dugout. Tied
Now
at 2.
batting number 26, third baseman from UMass Amherst.
Zip looks like he should be stalking a tiger of the plains of Serengeti.
Yeah, he is. He's got, that is a full hunting or fishing vest he's wearing.
Cooper Mroka, the third baseman, he flew out to right field to end the first inning. Stands in now with the bases empty. Bristol already has scored twice in this inning to tie the game up at 2 apiece. 2 outs, a little late on the fastball, and he follows that one back. Hot shot near the dugout. 9 teams in the Futures Collegiate Baseball League. Worcester
Hey,
in the
Bravehearts
West
fans, are we
Division,
having a good
4
time
teams in the
tonight?
West, 5 teams in the East.
I said, are we having a good time tonight?
And again, the Bravehearts captured the championship their first 2 years in existence. Last year they went to the championship, fell in the finals, so they have been the most successful franchise over their 3-year term here. Jake the Lion getting this capacity crowd going. DeVito, 2-1 count. And the fastball down and away, foul back, good pitch. Count is 2-2. The third baseman, Roca.
Moroka plays at UMass. His uncle, the former head baseball coach at George Washington University.
baseball family.
Yeah.
And fouls that one back, and the count remains 2
That's
balls,
one
2 strikes.
souvenir.
Native of Cheshire, Connecticut.
Here's DeVito, the 2-2 pitch. The slider, jumps on it, fouls it.
Hit 6 home runs, hit 285 for UMass this past spring.
Good power for the Minutemen.
Saw the Minutemen take on Holy Cross earlier in the year. The Crusaders got the better of them.
What a job that Greg DeCenzo has done, the head coach here at Holy Cross, with this Holy Cross program. They were not a winning program when he took over the reins, and he has built them into a winning program, as he says, by getting the right players, maybe not the best players, but the right players for the program. And he's such a great guy and a great baseball guy, and another guy who played multiple sports, a 2-sport guy at St. Lawrence.
Well, in baseball, the room
Football
is really
and baseball.
the room is really so important, as with every sport. But
Yeah.
in baseball, they have the chemistry in the room. The Boston Red Sox weren't the best team in baseball a couple of the years they won the World Series, but they had the best guys in the room.
Look out the kid zone.
And he's, Greg DeCenzo gets a lot of credit for that. What he has done out of Duxbury, Massachusetts. He's a local product, but was a punter and a kicker on the football team, and then a standout on the baseball team. Friends with Mo Casera in college. Swing and a miss. DeVito gets the strikeout to end the inning, but Bristol strikes for 2, and after 2.5, we're all square at 2.
Give it up for the little Jim from West
And look at this,
Boylston.
the gymnastics group. They were entertaining the crowd before the game and then in between innings, doing some tumble routines.
John Friday.
In a 10-minute performance. Be exhausted after that. Here's Friday to lead things off in the 3rd.
Fouls that first pitch back
I
into
got it.
play.
I got it.
Guys jumping
Or
on,
you
trying
got
to
it.
jump on that first
Hope you
pitch
got
from
it.
Edmond. A couple of guys doing it. Friday did it in his first at bat, just kind of blooped a little pop up to the shortstop. Just trying to get on Edmond early.
Chopped down the third base line, but foul.
He hasn't.
JP Pillay just watched it go into the dugout.
He hasn't seen a lot of
Open area.
pitches yet Friday.
If you lost your iPhone,
In
report to fan
326
assistance.
with 3 home runs, 26 RBI this spring at Franklin Pierce. And his 50 hits a summer ago was tops on the Bravehearts. A mainstay, played in 44 games.
Yeah, and a Southborough
Last
kid will be, when Krzyzewski gets here, another kid from that Northborough, Southborough area. Friday swings and misses and strikes out. So the leadoff batter is retired in the bottom of the
Now
third,
batting the serve pro hitter
and
of
Brett
the game.
Koffel comes to the plate.
From St. Leo University, number 8, left fielder, Brett Koffel.
Bravehearts with 3 hits, 2 errors, and 2 runs. Hot shot, and Jones can't make the play. And
That's a great
Koffel
hustle play.
will wind up on first base.
Well, it doesn't matter that the second baseman bobbles this, loses it. If Koffel's not running hard all the way, he's still out at first base. But he hustles all the way down the line.
Bristol University, number 10.
And gets on via the error. Second one for the Bristol Blues, 2 for the Bravehearts already here in the early going as well.
Trevor Jensen has an RBI in this game. He drove in the first run of the game for the Bravehearts. And there's a runner on for Jensen.
How about Koffel? He's listed as a catcher, natural position. Playing in the outfield. It's already showed pretty good speed for a catcher.
Jensen drills this one down the left field line into the corner. One hopper's going to run into that bullpen area. And Koffel with the speed being waved home. Here comes the play. Here comes the throw. He's safe.
Wow.
And Jensen's got another RBI, an RBI double for Jensen, and the Bravehearts have retaken the lead. It's 3-2 Worcester.
Well, the Bravehearts are fortunate here. It's a great piece of hitting again by Jensen. He's got kind of a looping inside swing, drills it down the left field line. Kind of brings it, his hands in front, and drills it down the line, and Koffel holds at second base because he's not sure if it was fair or foul. And J.P. Pine still waves him home, and he's able to score. He scores standing up, but he kind of held up at second. He kind of didn't see the call in front of him, but his manager waving him. Let's go. And it's 3-2.
That's a product, too, of that getting used to. Listen, you always got to be looking at me. I'll tell you what's going on here. You're new to the ballpark. Just look at your coaches. We'll tell you if it's in play or not in play and what the ruling is. He might have been thinking 2 ground rule double. In there for a strike.
Maybe that's the case, but they're going to, any coach will tell you, run it out until you know for sure.
Pick up that third base coach right when you're going to second.
They're lucky they got that run across.
Swing and a miss for Keiko. No balls and 2 strikes.
Keiko's the guy who has some pop. They had a home run in the spring for New Haven, but a really good, solid doubles hitter in the Futures Collegiate League.
And he pitched a little bit, too, in college this year. So Joe Keiko's another one of those real versatile guys. Did some relief pitching for them. We talked about his athletic prowess just as a football, basketball, baseball, and he was truly one of those guys that turned the page after each season. Okay, what season is it? All right, I'll play that sport. I'll play this sport. And was great in all of them. Got a piece of it. Hangs in there. Got an RBI opportunity here with Jensen at second.
Keiko also plays in the NE10, so it's a wood bat league in college. Not much of an adjustment here for the summer session.
And the pitch gets away. Jensen going to third, and he'll take it. And that's what J.P. Pine loves to see, that aggressiveness on the base paths. Take the extra base, make them make a play, try to rattle them up a little bit. J.P. Pine, a Milford native. Great baseball town, Milford. Great athletic history in Milford, in all sports.
Bristol looks a little confused what they want to do in the infield. Now they're back. Corners are on the grass.
1 out. Let's see what happens. Pitch is in the dirt. And the count evens up. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Joe Keiko battling. Was behind on the count. 0-2 at one point. Played for Mike Pucko at Holy Name. Great football guy. Keiko in the air. Will it stay in the ballpark? Yes, it will. And Zaberski makes the grab. And for Malachi Edmond, that's a great pitch, and it's a great turnout.
It's a huge out. The runner at third, not to be able to advance him with less than 2 outs. Nice job by the catcher, too, to get back there. Zaberski locate the ball, not really panic, took his time, and made the play.
Get to the fence first. That's what you'll see they'll teach the young catchers too. Get to the fence first and then adjust. Don't be a couple feet off and then have to try to find your way to the fence as it's coming down at the last minute. Get there first and then adjust to it.
I think it's one of the hardest plays to make in the field. Coming out of the crouch as a catcher, locate the ball, and try to make a catch over your shoulder or running around.
Chad Miller on the ground, foul down the first baseline. 1-1 the count to Miller with Trevor Jensen on third. The Bravehearts have scored 1 run here in the top of the third to retake the lead 3-2 over Bristol. Bravehearts would love to see another run here in this inning. Malachi Edmond. 1-1 pitch. And the fastball fouled back and out of play. Edmond ahead in the count. A ball and 2 strikes.
It's a drone flying over right field. Better watch out.
Is Zip, who's in charge of that? Is Zip, who's flying it? Or is that Sean Foley? Is that a city drone?
I don't know if Zip can fly a drone and take pictures at the same time.
If that's our former colleague, Sean Foley, flying the drone. Look out, it's a hard hat area then, anywhere down in the stadium.
There it is, there's the drone. Got a drone flying overhead. And there used to be a bird of prey that lived in the lights here, so taking a chance with your expensive drone up there.
Fouled back. Who was the Major League Baseball pitcher, though, that found out you don't want to play around with the drones?
Oh,
cut his finger.
Last
Last year in the World Series. It was like an off day.
Yeah, it was
And he
the
was playing
Cleveland. It was the Cleveland pitcher, wasn't it? It was in the ALCS.
That was it. He carved up his fingers and they couldn't pitch. Swing and a miss. Ball hits the dirt, so they'll have to throw it down to first. They do so. Edmond gets the strikeout. The Bravehearts get 1, and after 3 complete, it's Worcester 3 and Bristol 2. Welcome back, everyone. Billy DeVito on for his 4th inning of work for the Worcester Bravehearts, and we are pleased to be joined by the general manager of the Worcester Bravehearts, the man who does it all, Dave Peterman. I know you wear many hats and many titles, but
I wear
you got to
many
be
jackets too.
you got to be pleased with what's going on here tonight to kick off the 2017 season with a full house, energized crowd.
I gotta tell you, this is the largest crowd we've ever had for an opening night. How about that?
That's
this is
great.
incredible. The Central Massachusetts community came out.
Well, you put on a great product, and certainly, as you say, Worcester loves a show, and people love the show that you put on here, whether it's the mascot and Jake the Lion, but the mini golf, the bounce houses. You have so much for the families here, and not to mention a hot shot down to third. That'll be leadoff man getting aboard. Not to mention the great food as well. As Andy and I were saying, the chicken fingers and fries is like candy. It tastes
You
like
guys
candy.
always
That's
talk
good.
about those chicken
We
fingers
love
and
them.
fries.
Oh,
Now,
we love
did
them.
someone bring those up to you?
They
John?
just
That was
appeared.
pretty
Yeah,
nice.
John
They appeared, yeah. John
Well,
showed up with them.
I got to tell you, and right now we're so packed in here with the concourse that some of these concessions lines are probably bordering on 20 minutes.
Wow.
And we're trying to keep up as fast as we
Right.
can, but sometimes that fried dough, you can't take that
No,
out of
you
the oil
can't.
too,
And if we knew that, we might have scalped the chicken fingers and fries.
Exactly.
Gone out on the concourse.
I wouldn't have
and said,
expected Kevin Shea, but certainly Andy Lacombe was
Yes.
out there
Thank you. I would
developing the chicken finger and
You're
fries.
right about that. But this is a year-round work for you and for the Credence of getting everything ready for the season, whether it's facilities, structure, whether it's Kevin Hardigan and JP Pine and putting the team together. But there is so much that goes into just getting ready for the season. And opening day, is it a sense where you can kind of take a big exhale and say, okay, here we go. Now we've done everything we can do. Now it's time to play ball.
I think that it's an exhale maybe after this game is over, just a little bit, because today was nerve-wracking trying to get things you don't even think about, get the menu boards up, make sure that we dried out the field because it had rained for over the last couple of days. Script all of the PA announcements, get the music in there, make sure that all the uniform numbers are correct, and print the rosters so that people like you can actually know who's playing for the team. They're making last-minute roster changes at 4 o'clock, and I said, Kevin Shea's going to be very upset with me.
That is great.
Because this is a time of year where it's very difficult. We got some players who are in the NCAA tournament still.
Right.
So we're a little short in some areas, particularly the outfield.
Yeah.
But we'll have players coming in over the next couple of weeks after the NCAA tournament.
Right.
So this all started really, I'd say, January 1 when we hired people that sold all of the tickets that belong to the people that you see in the seats here tonight.
Yeah. Well, it is, as you said, it's a great show by the Worcester community and shows how much they love baseball and they love the product that you've put out. I mean, you've 3 years in existence, you won the championship twice and went to the championship a third time. So you probably can't ask for anything more than you've gotten on the field. off the field, behind the scenes, no one knows what that's like. What has that been like the first 3 years here for you guys?
It's steadily grown, and the first year that we did this in 2014, I didn't know what to expect because the city had been without baseball for a year, and I said, on opening night, look, if we can get 1,800 people here, I'd be happy. Right. And we probably got about 1,200 on opening night in 2014. But by the end of the season, we were averaging 1,800. And then it's gradually gone up. And last year, we were over 2,200. And I think the goal this year is to average over 2,600 fans a night, which would be higher. It would be the highest average attendance of any year that this ballpark has been open.
Incredible. Really incredible. And it's something the league has never seen. That kind of support. Walraven does it. We're going to stay here and not go to a break. Oh, we'll take a break, but stay here. Stay here with us. We're going to take a quick break and be back with more with Peterman. There's some of the young kids that Peterman was talking about. But a great family atmosphere here tonight, and so many young kids and so many families out to support the Bravehearts.
And this year we have a deal where we're giving a free hat with every group ticket. So that's why you see all these lime-brimmed hats that are popping up in the seats.
These are legit hats. They're not like those old painter's caps they used to give away.
I agree, and that's what
this
I
is
said,
good
Andy,
stuff.
It actually even says Worcester on the back of the hat.
Yeah, that's some pretty good swag you're giving away.
Phenomenal.
We got to plan ahead for things like that. In order for us to get that done, we had to order those hats in October. So you talk about a long time coming. If you think about opening night, and we thought about opening night after, basically the day after we lost to Nashua in the finals last year. But if you make the fall productive, then everything comes together in the spring. There is no off season.
No off season. I can believe it.
No, I have seen you. I have come by here, whether it was late fall, in the wintertime, even when the snow was here, and I have seen you running the steps of Hanover Insurance Park.
Training.
And I thought, there is no off-season for Peterman and the Worcester Bravehearts.
I don't know if that was me, though, Kevin.
Hart in the air to shallow center field. Chris Davis coming on. Makes the catch, one away.
The ballpark's changed a little bit, though, hasn't it? Since the beginning of the year, down the line, I'm looking into right field, and you've got little awning areas there, and maybe some little luxury box dinner seating, or what do you have down here?
And that's a good point there, Andy, because we're not really the type of ballpark where we could add luxury suites.
Sure.
I don't even think that Worcester wants luxury suites.
Sure.
This is a great ballpark experience here, just being on top of the action. But you can make minor upgrades, such as those loge boxes, those open air, really canopy seating down in right field, where it has private wait staff service. You got the fireworks just beyond the right field fence down there.
There they are.
And the other thing that we installed here was the drink rails, because so many times we just saw people didn't even sit in their seats. They want to stand on the concourse and talk to their friends.
On the ground to shortstop, over to second for one, and that's all they'll get. Walraven will wind up on first after the fielder's choice, but Bristol does get the lead runner, Nick Berry. No, you bring up a good point about the social aspect of the games, and for so many people it is a great social night out where they come with friends or they meet friends, and a couple families will meet together, and like you said, the adults will stand and talk.
I think what happens is people run into people that they hadn't seen in 3 or 4 years when they come to this ballpark. And I've heard that when I'm walking down the concourse, people are hugging and shaking hands and saying, geez, I haven't seen you in so many years. And I think that's what coming to a fun summer atmosphere is all about.
There it is right there. They're showing
There's
folks
my father over there.
on the
actually.
rail. Enjoying some of the ballpark fare. Beautiful stop by Frasca at short. On to first for the out. After 4 complete, it is 3-2 Worcester. Dave Peterman, thanks for joining us. Great way to kick off the 2017 season of Bravehearts baseball.
Love the jacket.
Thank
Looking
you,
good.
gentlemen. Keep up the good work.
Picture perfect night for baseball here in Worcester, Massachusetts, on the campus of Holy Cross College. Hanover Insurance Park at Fitton Field.
Now batting for Bristol from Princeton. Center
A
field.
lot of history here at this field.
Davis.
Ted Williams hit his first home run here He was facing the other way at the time. But you've had all kinds of greats through the years. Ron Perry Sr. and the great Holy Cross baseball team that won an NCAA championship. They played here. Babe Ruth played here.
Ted Williams hit his first home run as a member of the Red Sox.
That's right. I should have prefaced that by saying as a member of the Boston Red Sox here.
Yes.
That's a famous photo.
Well, Holy Cross was such a powerhouse program in really all sports, but in baseball that in the 30s and 40s, they would bring guys out.
Yeah.
They would bring pros here.
Barnstorming pro teams would come here, full pro teams, but then you'd have barnstorming teams of pros. A lot of history. And then, of course, years ago when the Worcester Tornadoes came here, and that first ownership group was the one that built this stadium.
Right.
Because it used to be that it was just a big maintenance shed, and you had literally a wooden shed that was like the press box you could fit about 4 people in. And you had one set of bleachers on the left field side, and that was it.
Yeah, you got to give a lot of credit to Alan Stone and his group that owned that first team, and really built this facility.
Literally built
And they were
this.
building this facility right up until opening day.
Yep.
That night. We were here.
Yeah, we were. We
were
were
here.
We just made
We're
our
always
hit.
here.
I think we just made our live hit that night. There was some what the heck's going on over there moments, but we knew what we were doing. Zip is in here, fresh off his safari.
Yeah.
Fresh from filming leopards and tigers on the plains of the Serengeti. He's seen a lot of history.
I had no idea
you
Zip
know
knew
what
how
we-
to use a camera.
What we need to see is some good concerts here. That's what I think the next step is bringing some concerts here and some great musical acts.
Let's bring
Blowfish at one point.
There you go.
Yes, now we got Zip Bell with us.
Now Zip was a former voice of the
Yes.
Worcester Tornadoes.
That's right.
That's
the
right.
maiden voyage
That's
of the
right.
Worcester Tornadoes. Speaking of Alan Stone, I heard
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we were talking
the
about. And you
ownership
guys-
group that built this park.
Didn't you guys ride in limos to away games?
that was
were
Frank
like-
Foley.
Oh, that's
false.
Rock stars.
Don't confuse me. I don't know
Rock
how you
stars.
can confuse me with Foley.
I love it. One of the
Oh,
great
foul
goons.
back.
No, go with it. But yeah, we've seen so much history here at the park. You think of that. We were talking about that first ownership group and Alan Stone and how they literally built this ballpark and what it looked like before versus now. It's incredible.
It is. And a great crowd tonight. Really nice.
Yeah.
It is.
You know, and Kev, I've played softball with Zip for many years.
That's right.
I've seen his athletic prowess out on the field. He doesn't just cover the game, he knows the game.
I'm the
plays
only
the
person that can pull a hammy just speaking. But I've done it.
You're in the record books for it. Ricciardi over to second to
Turn
one.
two.
Close. They got one. They got the lead runner. Now, we lost the lead singer Jay Giles recently. Do you have any good Jay Giles stories from your early radio days? Because again, being that
Not
they were
for
local,
broadcast.
not for those are the best stories.
Zip has a lot of not for broadcast
Those
stories.
are the best stories. The 10th inning on, when the mics are down and we hear those stories. One of the great bands, though, from Massachusetts. And they used to play, I was told that they used to play when they were, or some of them were younger, like in Concord. There was a couple of them from Concord, and they would play at like high school parties all the time because they were just forming up, which is great.
I remember the days when Aerosmith was starting on at Lake Sunapee in New Hampshire.
Oh, yeah.
Kev, I'm serious. At one of these softball games, a guy we're playing comes up to Zip and goes, "Hey, I won an AC/DC record by calling in to talk to you." He goes, "You got me an AC/DC record. It was great."
You know, I was just going to mention, we're in some pretty serious broadcast stead here with
That's
this
true.
gentleman
I
next
know
door.
we are, aren't we?
There's like 300 years of broadcast experience.
You put us all
And I-
together.
That's true. It's
That
true.
is true.
It's cool, though.
It is.
Bless him.
It adds to the lore here of Worcester baseball and the characters that have come through.
Well, they refer to our original broadcast team as, and there's an article in Worcester Magazine, they
They call us the knuckleheads or something like that.
Oh, yeah, I do remember
It's a
that.
rather disparaging
It was.
remark, but I shook it off. I walked it off.
You've been called worse things.
Much worse. So are you guys covering all the games this year, or just a select few?
We've got,
or?
I think, 5 or 6
Yeah,
games.
five
5
of them.
games on Charter TV3. And then we're here at the ballpark for the rest of them with a camera on our shoulder.
Yeah, doing
Yeah.
the clips for the evening sportcast.
Right. So we will be at the ballpark all year long in some capacity.
I will say that the Knuckleheads, they were an entertaining group.
Yes.
Frank Foley, and who'd you have? Paul Healy and yourself,
Oh,
right?
yeah, that's right. You had Heels, too. He was
Right.
another goon.
Yeah.
And Foley kind of fell by the wayside. Fewer and fewer games he would show up on time. Whoa!
The Lion almost took out your the heavy artillery here.
Jake's got an issue with me, I'm afraid.
Yeah, so then it fell upon you and Heels to carry the load, so to speak.
And it was a burden, I don't mind telling you. But it was fun, you know. We traveled to Quebec, and there was some serious road
that's
work
right,
involved.
that's
yeah.
right.
Yogi Berra Stadium down there at Montclair State. What team was that? I can't even remember.
Jersey
cool.
Jackals? Was
The
that
Jackals.
the New Jersey
Yeah,
Jackals?
It might have been. Yeah.
I think it was. Hit by pitch. So Garabedian moves up to first.
JP
Frasca
Pine is
moves
gonna
to second.
have a discussion here.
Pine's not happy with the home plate umpire. Neither are the natives. You can hear them chirping a little
Yeah.
bit. As the night draws longer into the game. Top of the 5th inning here.
The crowd is, by and large, well behaved.
They are.
I have to say, Tom.
If you work at a business with an outdoor marquee, get involved with our Shouts for Others.
And this is a long discussion. JP's
JP's
really getting his point across. He's making the home plate umpire think, if nothing else.
I mean, look at it. This ball makes contact somewhere, right off the kneecap.
Ouch.
I think JP might have thought it hit the bat first.
Or did he?
Let's see.
They're gonna, yeah. I think they were gonna ask if he had a full swing. He said no. I don't know how that's possible. I think he definitely swung at the pitch,
Yeah.
but
He definitely broke his wrists. JP Pine, there he is. Just a great manager, great guy, great baseball guy. Having his chat here. He's not going to win this argument, but again, the demeanor though that he goes out there with, he may get the next call. You know, it's not an Earl Weaver type. You know what I mean, Zip? That's going to throw the hat down, kick dirt on the umpire, and really go banana. First put the cigarette down, and then leave the dugout, as Earl Weaver would do.
Right. And needing the services of a personal injury lawyer after the ball game. That was never a good thing.
Casey Cummins, the pitching coach, out at the mound now, as JP is looking down to his bullpen area.
Whatever Casey's saying, he's got him laughing. He's got a loose group there in the infield.
All it takes is one here. Pitch, a little double play,
Yep.
and get out of the inning.
So you guys doing football frenzy later on
Oh,
in
yeah.
the fall?
Yeah.
Football frenzy.
We'll roll right into the frenzy from the summer season here.
Nice. He stick in some props for Mike Marcy. You know, you guys really do a nice job on all fronts as far as local sports. It's not easy. I mean, I know you guys put in a long week behind the lens.
I like it.
We appreciate
I like it. Maybe that'll be our biography, Behind the Lens.
Behind the lens.
My autobiography is going to be titled "Waiting for Kevin." That's
That is true.
basically what it is.
That is 100% true.
Look out.
Foul backing out of play. Now, obviously, you started as in radio as a DJ with the music. But tell us about your love of sports too.
With the music. I love the term. With the music.
With the music.
You were on the radio.
You know, I really wanted to be a play-by-play guy.
Oh, did you
originally.
really?
Yeah, way back I did. Ned Martin, Kurt Gowdy,
Yeah.
Mel Parnell.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my thing really originally. But I never really got to do it. So that first year of the Tornadoes, it was really kind of seriously a dream come true.
Oh, I'm sure.
It was great fun.
Well, and you think of too, even though, I mean, that first year was great just because of the excitement, and it was the first time that professional baseball was in Worcester since, the 40s or 30s or
Sure.
whatever. So it was everything was new, and then you had even Chris Colabello went from that team and went on to play in the majors.
Wow,
and,
yeah.
Rich Gedman was the manager.
Great guy,
you had
really
a lot
good stuff.
Wasn't he? He was phenomenal, and he still is. He's awesome. And Andy and I saw him recently at Pawtucket. He's the hitting coach for the Paw Sox. A big strikeout from DeVito.
And that's the other thing. This ballpark, is kind of hallowed ground, I should say. When you look back. Is it time for a commercial break?
No, not
No,
yet.
keep going, Zip. Take us. You're going to take us into the commercial too when it does.
The revenue.
No.
Yeah, you know what, Zip? Yeah, you should give us a good, when we get there, you should give us a good readout to a commercial.
Yeah, you take us out.
All right.
We need one more out just to go.
Right.
Okay.
You can call this too. Call this pitch here. Can you do that?
I'm a little rusty.
We got Cooper Roca at the plate. Cooper Roca is at the plate.
Zip's call brought to you by Tough Actin' Tenactin.
Oh, that's great.
Oh.
That is great. For those long, hot summer days.
Swing and a miss.
Now, Kurt Gowdy, did you love, and you still, I could listen
Gowdy.
to Kurt Gowdy all day long. Like, think about doing a game all by yourself and still being entertaining.
Yeah. It's not easy, especially, I was going to say when we went to Quebec City, it was just me. And have you ever been at that ballpark?
No.
The visitors' broadcast booth is like a coat hat check room, and seriously, it's the worst possible vantage point. You can't even see the field. And every once in a while, they would throw open the door of the press box and yell out something in French about a pitching change. I recall looking at the Telegram Gazette the morning after the game. I had called the wrong pitch, a number of wrong plays. Not that it mattered, I guess, at that point, but it's rising to the challenge. Oh, the natives are restless here.
I like it. This is a good home field advantage.
Batter called for time late, right as the pitcher was set to deliver it. You're not too pleased with him. There it is.
Oh, swing and a miss, strike 3.
Take us to break, Zip.
I don't even know what the score is. I can't see the scoreboard for starters.
3-2 Bravehearts.
3-2 Bravehearts, and we'll be right back. Shea and Lacombe live and in living color from Fitton Field, the hip, as it were, right here on Charter TV3.
Welcome back, everyone. New pitcher for the Bristol Blues, Anthony Maroney-Milston.
First baseman,
As Bristol go into the bullpen after 5.5 innings and a 3-2 Worcester Bravehearts lead. John Friday is the batter. Local product, first baseman. In there for a strike.
Maroney played at Lehigh. May have, going to check here, pitched in this ballpark against Holy Cross at one point in the course of his career. They're not always here every year.
Friday on the ground to shortstop. Frauska's throw is in time, and the leadoff batter is retired. And now it'll be Brett Koffel.
This season for the Mountain Hawks, Maroney with a 7.47 ERA, record of 1-1, 11 appearances. He did have 23 strikeouts in just 15 2/3 innings of work.
Koffel coming up to jump around, House of Pain, like his walk-up music.
Did not pitch against the Crusaders this past year.
Maroney in there for a strike.
Maybe one of those midweek guys in the Patriot League.
Could be. In the air to center field, Chris Davis going to his left. That ball just kept carrying to his left. Davis covering the ground, and the first two batters are retired.
Up next for the Bravehearts from Tulane University, center fielder
Trevor
number
Jensen.
10, Trevor Jensen.
Center fielder who has 2 RBI on the night. He's had a good night for the Bravehearts. RBI single and an RBI double. Bases are empty for Jensen here in the bottom of the 5th. Kevin Shea with Andy Lacombe. Thanks for tuning in tonight for our broadcast of Worcester Bravehearts baseball, the season opener for the Bravehearts. One of the great characters in Central Mass, Zip Zipfel,
Oh, he's
joining us. He's outstanding.
Absolute
He's got
best.
great stories. A legend, a radio legend.
When we get to
In on
play,
the
when we
hands.
get to play softball, Zip, he's like a player coach now. He's not the manager. He's the player coach. But he doesn't really play, so he's just a coach. But they put a microphone on him, and there's a DJ there. And they usually put a microphone on me or somebody else in the field, and we just go back and forth. He is hysterical.
Great character. He's got a great voice too. Like even when he's doing his, he just did a couple little play-by-play snippets here, but such a great voice. But always a guy that's smiling, in a good mood. 3-1 pitch to Jensen, hammered down the line, foul into the bullpen area for the Worcester Bravehearts. Jensen looking at a full count. Fouls it away.
Checking,
And the at-bat continues.
checking social media and texters just to see what's going on here in the offing. Beautiful night here in Worcester.
Kids, don't forget about the kids. We're
I
in the
should
middle of the
mention
sixth
that
inning.
my
Reports in the kids zone
father-in-law
right
and
now to
mother-in-law
get
are
ready
in
for it.
town. We couldn't get them tickets to tonight's game because it was a sellout.
Wow.
But they were going to watch some of the game. Hopefully they watch the good parts.
Yep.
And then you know, if they needed to change it.
Up next for the Bravehearts.
My father-in-law's a big sports fan. He watches a lot of live sports on TV.
Let's hear it for Joe.
Jensen draws a 2-out walk, and now Joe Keiko coming up to the plate.
Liz is probably thrilled that
Yep.
she's watching baseball on television.
Having to listen to her husband.
Isn't the voice on or something?
Joe Keiko wraps one deep to right field, and the right fielder, Griffin Garabedian, goes back a few steps, makes the catch, and that ends the inning. 5 complete here in Worcester. The Bravehearts in front of the Blues, 3-2.
Number 15.
All right, new pitcher for the Worcester Bravehearts is Josh Walker, 6'6", 225-pound left-hander from the University of New Haven. Billy DeVito with a quality start.
7
as he went
strikeouts.
5 complete.
7 Ks for DeVito over those 5 innings.
Leading
J.P.
off
Pine
for
going to the
Bristol,
bullpen.
designated hitter from UConn, number 34, Ben Maycock.
So Josh Walker, the new pitcher for the Worcester Bravehearts. And the first pitch that Ben Mayock sees, he drills the opposite way into left field. And the leadoff man is aboard for Bristol.
Now
And
batting
Kyle
for the Blues,
Pileski,
number 13, first baseman for Birmingham
the
State.
first baseman,
Kyle
now
Pileski.
comes to the plate. 0 for 2. 3-2 is the lead for the Worcester Bravehearts. Top of the 6th inning. Swing and a miss as Walker took something off it. Five hits for the Bravehearts, 3 runs, 2 errors for the Bristol Blues. 3 hits, 2 errors, and 2 runs.
Pileski's 0 for 2. He's flown to the second baseman and grounded to Dante Ricciardi as well.
1-1 pitch. In there for a strike. 1-2 the count now to Pileski. Josh Walker, one of those
Come on,
new
Bravehearts fans, let's hear
pitchers
it.
and
2
new
strikes.
players on the Worcester Bravehearts roster. And a swing and a miss. Beautiful pitch from Walker as he gets the strikeout. And Pileski is retired.
Up
Logan
next for
Green, the
Bristol,
number 8
left
batter,
fielder, number 4 from UMass
steps in.
Amherst, Logan Green.
1 for 2 on the night with a single.
Walker led New Haven, University of New Haven, in appearances this spring with 20.
Oh, fantastic. Fantastic.
It's an embarrassment of riches here.
John
in the booth.
Creedon just brought in another basket of chicken fingers and fries, and we are the happiest people alive. That pitch is going to get to the backstop. Nick Berry chases it back there, and Ben Mayock will move up to second base as he gets himself in scoring position.
Walker was 3-1, 2.40 ERA in the spring. University of New Haven had a good year. New Haven, 31-13.
Well, New Haven's got such a great history of baseball. A lot of good Central Mass kids too. Jimmy Halloran's a kid that came out of New Haven. His son we saw this year at Worcester Academy. We're going to see Trevor Johnson here this year with the Worcester Bravehearts, an outfielder who just is still at Dartmouth College. They're still in school because they have those trimesters. Runner goes. Barry's throw down to third, not in time. So Trevor Johnson's father, Mark, was a former standout at Holy Name, and then at Dartmouth was the quarterback on the football team, great baseball player, played in the pros for years. His grandfather, Trevor's grandfather, Skip Johnson, longtime coach of the Maine South Legion team.
Yeah.
And he's going to be staying with his grandparents. Trevor is here in the city and playing baseball here, but as I said, Dartmouth is still in school, so they're going to get him in a week or two. He's another one of those players. Started as a freshman for Dartmouth in the Ivy League.
Dad was Dartmouth quarterback Mark Johnson, as you said. That's what they called him on national sports broadcasts when he played for the, I believe, the Mets or the Pirates?
Yeah.
Dartmouth quarterback Mark Johnson.
So
my little brother played for the Johnsons over at Maine South.
Yeah.
Loved them.
Skip Johnson's a great guy, great baseball guy, but a great guy. Like, he was one of the first guys that I met that first summer that I was here. Just a great baseball guy, but a good person as well. And I'm sure they're thrilled to have their grandson with them and playing. Infield in, diving stop by Walraven. Throw to first, gets the batter, but the run counts, and we got a brand new game. We begin again, tied at 3.
Yeah, they brought the infield in all the way around. This one is shot up the middle. No shot to get the runner at the plate. And Walraven essentially robs Green of a hit.
Yep.
2 down, bases clear.
4-1 out for Boldy. We begin again, tied at 3. The 1-0 pitch misses inside. 2-0 the count now.
Well, the Bravehearts, as we've mentioned, missing a couple of their arms that they'll expect to be big as the season goes on. But arms right now, J.P. Pine talking to him in the pregame, he thought was the strength of this club.
Yeah.
He loves the way they pitch right now and loves how they match up with their arms going forward.
You're talking about a reliever that they have, Cody Lawyer's son, who pitched up at UMaine this year, and he was their guy out of the bullpen. Like, pressure situation, you're up by 1 in the 7th inning, they were bringing him out. So you have a guy that was very successful and used to pitching in tight situations. Swing and a miss. Walker gets the strikeout. Bristol gets 1. Middle of the 6th inning, and we're all tied up at 3 apiece.
Welcome back. You know, in the 6th inning, these big games, they let all the kids that are here run across the outfield. There are so many kids here today that we might have a little bit of a delay to get this inning started because they are still flocking across the field. Now there's a pile up at the Bravehearts bullpen.
Looks like the Callahan Tunnel on a Friday trying to leave Logan. Just a bottleneck out there. And look at the Bravehearts players are high-fiving the kids in the bullpen. So the kids are all fired up. They're going to all want to go by the players and high-five them. It's like herding cats out there.
Bullpen catcher gets a high five. Gets a couple, yep.
They got to wait, though, till all the kids are off the field. And then we can resume here at the bottom of the 6th inning. Shad Miller.
Yeah.
It is good. Sean Grady, our producer-director, noting that the Benny Hill music is perfect, though, for this scene right now. Look at Peterman with the red jacket. He's trying to herd him. Trying to herd these kids through. Oh, it's outstanding.
Yeah, how about that? I think Peterman's got about 500 jackets. Net worth of them all is about $6. But
that's true.
That one has a Bravehearts logo.
I know.
Sewed into the back.
That's worth something.
We should think about that for you.
Getting the Bravehearts one,
You know?
Charter TV3.
No, brand yourself so when you're out at those games, Kevin.
Oh, that's a good
you're
idea.
wearing a sport coat.
Oh, yeah.
You're shooting.
Oh, yeah.
And you got Charter 193
That's a good point.
on your sport coat.
Great point.
Winter, spring, summer, or fall.
That is a great
All you
point.
need to do is call.
That is a great point.
That's
I
good
thought
marketing.
you just wore the vests.
Good marketing.
We still wear the vests. Are the kids still wearing the vests as part of our crew?
Who are the ad wizards that came up with this one?
Yep.
Jerry Seinfeld's in town this week.
The crossing guards with the Charter TV3 vests.
Yeah.
There's Chad Miller. Jamie Reynolds.
I think Jamie
always
Reynolds
loved-
took that home.
He loved wearing the vest.
I think Reynolds took that vest home, and I think he's laundered it, and he wears it out.
Yep. When he goes jogging.
And he
night.
looks great in it.
Fluorescent. It has reflectors on it, so
Yeah.
the cars will see him when he's out there doing his road work.
Where is Reynolds? He's on a camera somewhere.
Yeah, he might be straight above
Is
us.
he in center field or is he above us?
I bet he's straight above us.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's above us. All right.
Oh, Michael O'D is out in center field.
Oh, good.
Mike O'Donohue. I should hope, Mike, that someone told you that they have mosquitoes the size of small helicopters out there so that they told you to dress accordingly. Otherwise, you may catch a small case of the West Nile. OD's on the top of the Charter TV3 van. Is that van street legal?
That one is.
At least one of the
That
one
one
member
is.
of the fleet is.
That one is. Who would have thought Sean Grady would have outlived half of our fleet?
I know. I lost money on that bet. I took the under on that and lost.
Angriest director in America. Blood pressure rises to unseen charts.
He is the Al Hrabowski of directors. Yup. Who's doing the music tonight? Is it Joe Sorrentino?
Oh, the
we have
music is
Danielle
out on
DeLucia.
point. It has been good tonight. There's been a lot of different.
Yeah.
I couldn't name half of them, but it sounds great.
The last one that we went out to, I don't know the song, but it was a great one. Certainly you and I enjoyed it. But I like all of them. See, I like that. We used to have that. Ryan Hughes would the musical theme, name the musical theme, name whose iPod this is. Chopper down the third baseline foul.
Well, we have a very musical team.
Yeah, we
if
do.
Danielle's here and Joe's
Joe
here,
Sorrentino plays the guitar. Danielle sings.
Rob's back at the home office on master control.
Yep.
We're a very musical team. Danielle's got a great ear, though, so I sensed there was somebody new on the music tonight.
Yep. You did sense right, young Skywalker.
Fran Laporte, we know when it's him.
Oh, yes.
Now stepping up to the
Well,
plate
number
for the
one, when
Bravehearts,
it's Fran
number
Laporte,
4, the
we know
catcher
that the
from the
audio
Nationals,
volume-wise
the
is
catcher,
going to go up and down, like off the charts. So for a couple times you won't hear anything, and all of a sudden it's going to scream in red line, and it'll pierce your ears. Then it'll come back down, and you'll get a steady diet of Molly Hatchet. No, Fran is strictly 70s. All the hits from the 70s that you know. The Allman Brothers, Molly Hatchet. It's about a 4-band rotation. And the shortstop makes the play. Jake Frasco over to first. 2 men are retired here in the inning. Bottom of the 6th inning, tied at 3. Bravehearts and the Bristol Blues. Brian Hart, the third baseman, the number 9 hitter, stands in.
Blues pitching retired 8 of the last 9 Bravehearts to come to the plate.
One thing that Kevin Hartigan liked about this team too is the pop that they had at the bottom of the order. He said if you look at even the bottom of our order, Keiko and Miller and Barry and Hart, these are guys that can hit home runs and they have some power. You know, Keiko could be a 3-4 hitter. We can have him a little further down in the lineup, which just makes us deeper and tougher to pitch. Hart swings through the offering. 2 down, bottom of the 6th. 3-3 is our score. 0-2 count to Brian Hart. And he got a piece of it off the catcher's mask, John Zaberski. That'll loosen your fillings. Hart hanging tough in there. Count remains 0-2. And that one's in the dirt, 1-2.
You know, Peterman, when we had him on, said you see people you haven't seen 3 to 4 years. I met a high school classmate of mine, or saw him for the first time in 20 years outside the ballpark coming in, him and his family. This one is drilled to left. There's your
way
pop.
back. Hart, it carries, and it's gone. Home run, Brian Hart. A solo shot, and Worcester has regained the lead. It's 4-3 Bravehearts.
Now there's your bottom of the order pop, Kev.
I think that deserves a big old.
Nice.
Hart drills it.
He went down and got it. It was a low pitch. That's a tough pitch to drive deep, and he
Stepping up for the
He got all of it.
shortstop number 2 from New Haven. Give it
Way
up
out
for
there.
Tom Walraven.
over the left field fence.
That's his first home run of the calendar year. He didn't have one at Bryant this spring.
Couldn't have come at a better time for the Bravehearts as they regain a 1-run lead, 4-3, in the bottom of the 6th, and it brings up the leadoff batter, Tom Walraven. In there for a strike. Walraven 0 for 1 with 2 walks. Reached on a fielder's choice. That one's popped back, and it will get into the seats. It's the top of the dugout. There's Joe Sorrentino. As we zoom in, Musical Joe. I forget the name of his group, but I know it's like a melting clock is like the logo. 20 past 2, thank you. 20 past 2 is the name of his band. That one slapped into that concourse area. And this game chugging along, 9:07 p.m. in the bottom of the 6th. Beginning to draw the ire of Sean Patrick Grady. Sean Kevin Grady, actually. Sean Patrick Foley.
Good Irish name either
Yeah.
way.
He's Sean Kevin, and Foles is Sean Patrick. Maybe on throwback night, we'll bring Foles back. Oh, we're going to have the Foles back with us. 2-2 pitch to Walraven. Chopper to first. Pileski has it. And flips to first for the out. Solo home run by Brian Hart, though, and the Bravehearts have regained the lead after 6 complete. 4-3 Worcester.
Welcome back, Walker, starting things. And he's got the top of the order for the Bristol Blues. Chris Davis leading off against the lefty Walker.
And this one slapped down the left field line, foul.
Walker had 2 Ks in his first inning of work, 9 strikeouts for Bravehearts pitching so far tonight. Probably see Walker here try to get him through the 7th inning, maybe the 8th, and set up for a close if the score remains the same.
Not all of our crew is so musically inclined, though, as we found out today. Rosalind Flaherty, one of our reporters, singing. And it was described by one member of the crew as it sounded like someone was pulling the tail of cats. So Dan Danielle might have to do some musical matching there. And a swing and a miss. Walker gets the strikeout. Leadoff batter is retired.
I didn't hear the singing, but I did hear the description by one member of the crew.
Jake Frasco.
Third strikeout for Walker. Again, a lot of appearances as a reliever. Pretty good amount of innings in the spring for Josh Walker. He actually pitched 30 innings for New Haven. Struck out 32 over the course of 30 innings.
In there, thought it was in their first strike. 2-1 is the count to Jake Frasca. 2-1 delivery to Frasca, chopped to Walraven at short. 2 up, 2 down. Griffin Garabedian comes to the plate.
Now batting right fielder, number 25 from Southern Connecticut State, Griffin Garabedian.
Another NE10 guy at a Southern Connecticut State.
A lot of good baseball at the NE10 level.
I can't stress it too. I mean, a lot of leagues, most leagues are metal bat or whatever they are now, composite. NE10 is a wood bat league. It's got to be some sort of comfort level coming in. Players probably will tell you no. I think it's got to be some sort of comfort level.
Yeah.
To go in wood bat to wood bat.
Swing and a miss. Another NE10 alum, Mike Myers, the president of the Worcester Railers, coming in the booth. Mizey, we're going to have to put you on the mic here right after, especially if this inning ends now. There it is. 1-2-3 inning for Josh Walker. 7th inning stretch time here at Hanover Insurance Park. The Bravehearts in front by 1, 4-3. Welcome back, everyone. Keith Grant is the new pitcher for the Bristol Blues, left-hander from Johnson in Wales. He can cook and he can pitch. We're joined by Mike Myers, the president of the Worcester Railers, and we were just talking, Mike, about your day. You guys had a busy day down at the State House with the governor, Charlie Baker, and the lieutenant governor, Karen Polito.
Yeah.
And your owner was there, and you were there. Eric Lindquist was there, members of the Railers front office.
Yeah, we had tracks there, getting comfortable in the governor's the West Wing. So we had a lot of fun. A little road trip to Boston. Made sure they got their Railers jerseys.
Outstanding. And what was it like? Had you been at the State House before?
You know, I've only gone down and done quick tours, but I've never been in an official capacity. So that was a lot of fun, especially just being able to. Actually, the amount of Worcester people we saw. So we saw Richard Burke from Fallon, and we saw Mayor Petty as well.
Wow!
So just impromptu, bumping into some Worcester folks. So it was great. A lot of good fun.
October 14th, opening night for the Worcester Railers at the DCU Center, and Andy and I were talking earlier in the broadcast. He has a niece in Colorado who's a huge fan of the team out there, the ECHL team out there in the Kelly Cup. In the Kelly Cup finals right now, and we were saying that you guys have to wait until the Kelly Cup championship is over until you can sign players. So you have done all this legwork and all this scouting for the last year.
Yep.
Jamie's been all over North America.
Let's be clear, it wasn't me doing the
legwork. It was Jamie
legwork.
doing it all over North America. But you know what? I'm sure you guys have a board with all the players you would like to sign. What's it like now? The anticipation as it's days away to saying, okay, now we can open the phone lines and start calling these people and trying to sign them.
Well, for me personally, I'm a hockey guy first, so I love the fact that my call with Jamie this morning was 100% about guys that we're looking at, guys that we've recruited, guys that we've had in for tours and quick visits, and where we stand with them, good, bad, or indifferent. So just the fact that we're having those conversations takes us to that next chapter, and it's a lot of excitement.
Yeah, and of course this is when, hockey is taking center stage with the Stanley Cup finals going on now, and people, even though the weather is a lot nicer now, you get some people that may not follow hockey day to day, but they'll tune in for the Stanley Cup and for some of the playoffs and stuff. What kind of reaction are you getting from the hockey fan, but even just the casual sports fan in Central Mass about professional hockey coming back?
One of the things that I've heard so often is the biggest void that's left when a team like the Sharks or the Ice Cats have left previous is that resource to the city, the like what we're looking at tonight. The ability to grab your family, go out and have a safe, fun family, affordable, fun time out in Worcester. Get home at a reasonable hour, not worry about parking or the hour drive, and be close to home. See a lot of friends that you go to school with or you work with, or they do dance or softball or hockey or baseball, and really get a chance. It's a real communal feeling, and so more than just the sport of hockey, it's the casual fan that enjoys a sport, but it's more about the entertainment dollar that they're spending and the value that they get from it.
We got a chance to tour the Ice Center, which is going up, and I'm sure even since Kevin and I toured it, a couple of weeks ago.
That was a risky tour.
A lot has happened. It was a risky tour. You led a great tour. I don't know if OSHA would approve some of it, but and just the development of that, it's going to be a first class facility for downtown Worcester, for the Railers, and for college and high school hockey and youth programs all across Central Mass. That ice time is so tough to find, as I know you can attest to. Being a coach in the youth level and having your sons play too.
It's interesting. I'll use the word resource again. Again, this is something that's a huge resource for the local community, the teams, the organizations that work so hard. Anybody who's worked in youth sports knows that it's a lot of it's a labor of love, and all the coaches are volunteers, and people work their tails off to make sure that they have a great experience for the kids, and to be able to provide ice time in an urban setting, which has become almost obsolete. I mean, you don't see rinks built in urban settings anymore. So we went against the grain a little bit, put a little retail in there, put it right in the middle of a community or a part of the community that's looking to really turn the corner and revitalize itself in the Canal District. And I think we're going to be able to showcase a pretty neat part of the city for people outside of Worcester and Central Mass.
Well, and I know too, Cliff Rucker, your owner, has great plans in terms of, you talked about it being in the heart of the city in an urban environment, but that it's not just going to be a resource for hockey teams, it's going to be a resource for kids in the city, in the elementary schools in Worcester, to learn how to skate. That you are developing programs that you'll roll out, when the rinks are built and when the season's going, but that you'll be taking kids to the rinks and letting them learn how to skate for free and giving them, providing the skates for them, everything for them. So here's an opportunity that kids would never have.
Correct.
Had the Railers not come to the city, had Cliff Rucker not come to the city and built the rink, brought professional hockey back to Worcester, here's the kids that are going to learn how to skate, and then in doing so, a whole new outlet, and then even probably more interest in hockey because they know how to skate.
Yeah, it's interesting because a good friend of mine, a guy named Jim Britt, is he just retired this year. He worked for Ed Snyder, who's the longtime owner of the Philadelphia Flyers, and he, for the past 20 years, has run the Ed Snyder Hockey Foundation, and they have a program that really helps inner city kids get introduced to the game of hockey, how to skate, and it's worked with the Philadelphia Public Schools. We wanted to do something that was modeled after that a little bit, but we wanted to start small. We got to really bite off what we can chew and do it well. And so we picked this year we're doing the 4th grade, Worcester Public Schools. We're going to once a week have students get bussed in, and we're going to bring them in and feed them a little pizza from Nona's Italian restaurant in the rinks. And we're going to have them do a little learn to skate program with our coaching staff, with our players. If they're not available, we'll do it with our front office staff. Obviously, tracks will be there. But, you know, the benefit is, like you talked about, it becomes a resource for kids that would never get a chance to learn how to skate, might be intimidated, might think that this isn't a building for them.
Right.
And what we want to do is say, you know, we built this in this area for everybody. We want everybody to get a taste of it, learn how to skate, and you know what? If it goes to the next level, we're going to have scholarship programs that will benefit youth hockey players that want to get started, so that it's no charge to them or their family, and you know, with our junior railers. So
it's phenomenal.
Yeah, we'll be rolling it out. We've soft released it a little bit. We've talked about it publicly. It's called Skate to Success. We'll be doing a full-blown release as we get towards fall. But yeah, starting right away in September, we're going to get right at it.
I could have used it. I think I peaked as a skater in 3rd grade.
Yeah.
So if you had thrown pizza in the equation, I think I'd probably be a pretty good skater right now.
You know what? I wasn't going to say that, but I think you're right. Maybe we'll fit you in.
Fit me in.
I was going to say,
and 4th graders trying to skate.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
So I think that could work.
4th graders.
That could
you
work.
Signed the release.
Yeah, I'm cross-checking people. Lindquist told me this was okay.
Bent ankles,
Well,
Bob.
when you know, the Ice Cats were St. Louis, the Sharks were San Jose. All right, they're far away. The Islanders are affiliated with, or you're affiliated with the Islanders. How do you feel about bringing all this New York like hats and clothes? People are gonna have Islanders this close to Boston.
You know, it's funny.
You're bringing a New York team to Boston.
I got to tell you, my kids have been John Tavares fans for a while. So
yeah.
I was looking at some pictures from a couple years ago, and there they are with Islanders gear, and I go, what? This is foreshadowing the future here, but. You know, we got Thomas Grice is the starting goalie there, and he was the goalie when we started with the Sharks 9 years ago or 10 years ago. So, you know, for me, it's a little bit of full circle. Having such a great organization like Bridgeport involved, it's awesome.
I've got a hat and a T-shirt. So I've got Islanders gear right now. We'll take a break. Mike Myers, thanks for being with us.
Thanks.
Welcome back, everyone. Hanover Insurance Park. Kevin Shea with Andy Lacombe as we are set to begin the top of the 8th. 4-3. The Worcester Bravehearts are in front, and both teams going into the bullpen a lot now, and Worcester has a new pitcher. It is Cody Lawyerson, and that's the guy we were talking about from UMaine, who was in big situations for the Black Bears all season long.
A little foreshadowing there, Kev.
Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good, eh?
13 innings plus of work for the University of Maine this past year. 3-2. His ERA is just over 6. 10 appearances for Lawyerson. Teammate of Matt Jeffrey on a Algonquin standout, and also a pitcher at the University of Maine, part of this club.
That one fouled back.
So Walker did his job. He did give up a run, but he's the pitcher of record right now for the Bravehearts. Had 4 strikeouts in 2 innings of relief.
Lawyerson in there for a strike.
This has been a cavalcade of stars.
Hasn't it?
How about the district attorney leads things off? He was technically in our pregame show.
That's a very good point.
We have seen a couple of the PSAs from the hyped program that the district attorney was talking about. There's a strikeout. Another Blues strikeout. We have seen some of those PSAs, those drunk driving PSAs, running here during this broadcast tonight.
It's like we planned it. Cooper Maroka is the batter. Top of the 8th inning. Worcester trying to protect a 4-3 lead. Cody Cody Lawyerson is on. Third pitcher tonight for the Bravehearts. In there for a strike as he has pounded the zone so far. You know, when you talk about the Bravehearts signing players, and Kevin Hartigan gets out there and talks to a lot of college coaches and talking to players and families, and you know, one of the things you kind of miss is that there is a lot of communication between the team and the college coaches, particularly with the pitchers. How much did they throw? How are they? And they do work together. You know, if someone's thrown a lot of innings, they may give them some time off to start the season. They may use them in a different role. Flair is fair. Falls in, it's a fair ball. So Roca is on with a single. But it's not just that, okay, we signed this kid, we're going to use him however we want to use him. You know, there is a lot of communication there with the college coaches to say, okay, you know, we'll look and we'll kind of pull the reins back a little bit in the beginning of the year if they've pitched a lot. Give them some time, give their arm a little time to rest.
Now here's Ben Maycock now. He's 1 for 3. Singled and scored his last time up.
Big swing and a miss. Yukon product. The 0-1 pitch, missed. Count evens up, a ball and a strike. Cooper Roca on first. One down, top of the 8th, 4-3 Worcester in front.
You know, this is beginning of the year, still a challenging time for managers and pitching coach like Casey Cummins, who decides how they want to use their guys and how they can use their guys in different situations. You mentioned University of Maine uses Lawyerson in big spots, and right now they've got him in here in the 8th to try to maybe bridge it to the 9th, although there's nobody up in the Braveheart bullpen. So maybe it's Lawyerson, depending on how he fares in this inning. Maybe it's his game to go.
2-1 pitch is fouled into the seats. It's a hot shot down there into the barbecue area. Kind of a little bit of a throwback night here. We give you in the bottom right there, you see the runs, the hits, and the errors.
That's not by design.
No, it isn't. We had a little technical snafu in the truck, but it does bring back the, for those fans who remember Monday Night Baseball in the 70s. You know, we just need some of the bad uniforms. And you're right, Howard Cosell was
I'm
one
Dandy
of the
Don
broadcasters.
Meredith, and you're Howard Cosell.
Yep. And so, Cody Lawyerson.
I watched the Larry Bird Magic Johnson documentary for like the 12th time last night. And I saw a young Brett Musburger
No way.
on the call for the NBA Finals in 86, 85, 86. And I was reminded of our friend Lou Brock, who was here.
Yeah, that's right.
Talking about Brett Musburger.
And a 3-2 count. Full count for Ben Maycock. Cody Lawyerson checks the runner at first. Maycock steps out and draws the ire of this crowd, Lacombe.
I am not going to sing Turn Out the Lights, the party's over at the end of this one.
That was Dandy Don.
Dandy
That
Don
was
Meredith.
Monday Night Football.
That's right.
Howard did them all. This one is fouled. Hit a long way, but foul.
Kevin Shea, you have said something here. Mohammed, are
great.
you the greatest heavyweight to ever live?
Monday Night Baseball was the only time you would get to see teams like in the National League. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Lawyerson. No, did he say he got a piece of it? Oh, I thought he struck him out. Yeah, back then, Monday night, it was all pre-cable. The only time you would see National League teams was on Monday Night Baseball in the All-Star game. That was it. And so growing up, I hated the National League. And I didn't like any of the players in there. I was all Red Sox, but then an American League guy. And Maycock draws the walk, so runners now at first and second.
Hate is such a strong word.
That's true, but as a little kid, I did. I can say
a healthy hate.
Yeah, it was a healthy hate. It was a strong dislike.
Now batting for Bristol, first
I
baseman,
always
number
wanted,
13,
like, in my prime as a kid and a baseball fan, was when the National League went on that run where they won the All-Star game, something like 5 or 6 years in a row. And boy, I would hate it. I would hate it every single time. That's true. These are true stories.
Didn't the Bird, Mark Fidrich?
Yeah.
He really got into the spotlight on Monday Night Baseball.
That's exactly right. I think he threw a complete game against the Yankees. He threw something like 22 complete games one season. He was incredible. But he did. That's when he really burst onto the national scene. Talking to the ball, patting the mound, kind of replace divots and stuff, and working his magic, and he was so effective. And the big, of course, the big curly hair popping out of the hat. He would run, like if the shortstop made a good play, he'd run over and shake his hand. People have never seen anything like him. Long run for the right fielder up against the fence. Chad Miller with a nice play. And Roca tags at second, moves up to third, but Miller with a very nice play. And now there's 2 away. Runners at the corners, 2 down. It's a big necklace. Is it Roca's got there? Is that a chain, or is that like sometimes those kids have those
the copper things?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a lot. Yeah, that's big. That's like 1980s rap big right there.
Yeah, that's a big chain.
That is a big chain. I guess you can get away with that in the summer session.
I guess so.
That's like Oil Can Boyd chain right there.
Oil Can Do It. He was another famous guy who played here at Hanover Insurance Park.
Yep.
I believe a Sunday conversation with Dave Bolduc too. He was one I think we interviewed before the game once over at the picnic tables, or maybe I just interviewed him.
Oh, that's right. I remember that interview.
We went over and interviewed him before the game, roll in some sound.
That's right.
Oil Can Do It. Remember I had an old Oil Can Boyd poster that we put up in our office.
I remember that. Still have the Carlton Fisk poster.
We
Not
do.
sure what happened to the can.
I think the can is underneath the Fisk one. I think is the Oil Can one. Logan Green is our batter, the left fielder. Green is 1 for 3 with an RBI. He's got an RBI situation here with 2 outs. Lawyerson looking to shut the door.
Quick announcement, if you're the owner of a Honda Odyssey license plate 16H431, you are double parked in the parking ramp, please move your vehicle. Honda
Big
Odyssey
spot
16H431,
for the pitcher, Lawyerson.
Thank you.
And Green here. Lawyerson can get out of the 8th, set up a close situation in the 9th.
1-2 the count.
That one just missed inside.
That's a good pitch.
Started from our vantage point outside of the batter, like behind Green.
Dropped head in.
Dropped in. Like a wiffle ball slider there.
2-2 pitch coming. And it's fouled back. Logan Green hanging tough. Cooper Roca is at third. Ben Maycock is at first. Bravehearts with a 1-run lead. Top of the 8th. 4-3 Worcester. Pitchers on both sides have done a good job. Only 10 hits combined between the 2 teams tonight. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Lawyerson.
He got him.
Walking a tightrope, and he strands 2. Welcome back, everyone. Bottom of the 8th. Some stout-hearted fans still here. A lot of the young fans had to leave as it gets past their bedtime.
Yeah, but there are fireworks after the game, so
That's true.
that's the incentive, too, to kind of stick around. Looks like the Bravehearts staff is going around handing out little tokens to the kids that are here, too. Nice little take-in. here on opening night.
Yeah, it certainly is. Great crowd, great atmosphere, great night. You know, we've said it, but Dave Peterson and the Credence have done a phenomenal job resurrecting baseball here in Worcester and making it, once again, a very family-friendly environment.
Frasca took his hat off for that one. The sun must have been bothering him.
Third baseman's laughing at it.
Again, Frasca listed as a pitcher.
Stepping up to the plate, the right fielder, number 28 from St. Leo.
That doesn't mean a heck of a lot. Zach Towers listed as a pitcher for the Wachusett Dirt Dogs this year, but Tower started last night's game as the DH. So you move
Actually
him around
pitched,
where you can use him.
he
did
pitched
pitch
an inning here last year.
He pitched a couple innings here last year. And I think wants to pitch a little more, and the Dirt Dogs may give him that opportunity. Dan Gennarelli, their field manager.
He was one of the original Tornadoes.
He was the original Tornado.
He was the original Tornado, and then, but he
there was
had
a press conference here up at
That's
in
right.
the Hogan Center, and it was with him.
Yeah, he was the
ownership
first signing. But his arm, he had undergone Tommy John surgery with Dr. James Andrews, and it just never came back. And then he had to have another surgery, and so he was never able to play. But you're right, he was the first signee of the Worcester Tornadoes.
Miller goes down on strikes.
Number 4 from UMass Lowell, Nick Perry.
30 for 30, Charter TV3 version. I mean, we could do it. Got the documented history.
We do have the documented history.
Worcester Tornadoes baseball.
Worcester Tornadoes. They were constables outside the locker room.
Unbelievable.
It was crazy. Strange days indeed. Chopper to third. Roca on to Pileski for the out. 1-2-3 inning. Last chance for the Blues coming up.
Fans are up and ready for the top of the ninth. Bravehearts on top 4-3. And to close things out, the Bravehearts are staying with Lawyerson. Although they do have action in the bullpen. Got a pinch hitter coming for the Bristol Blues. No, I'm sorry, it's Max Goyen back in there, the number 9 hitter. He is 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts.
Pearson steps and toes the rubber. 1-run lead. The first batter so important in there for a strike. Still a fair amount of people here. As you mentioned, the fireworks, a big incentive.
I just did get a piece there.
And Lawyerson's ahead in the count. No balls and 2 strikes. The 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss, struck him out.
13th strikeout by Braveheart pitching.
Now batting for Bristol.
Now the top of the order,
Center fielder, number 15.
Chris Davis. Here is Chris Davis.
Excuse me, 14th strikeout, Kev.
Chris Davis has struck out twice tonight.
Only been 1 inning where the Blues haven't had a strikeout.
An impressive show so far for the Worcester Bravehearts pitching staff. In there for a strike. No balls and 2 strikes now. Lawyerson ahead in the count to the leadoff batter, Chris Davis.
I can't hear you.
Fastball up and away, tried to get him chasing.
Keep it going, keep it going.
Did he go?
Got him.
Yes, he did. Back-to-back strikeouts. for Lawyerson. 2 down, top of the 9th. Jake Frasca, the number 2 hitter. One of the few batters to have not struck out this evening. Actually, the only batter in their lineup without a K this evening.
Reached on a fielder's choice and scored in the 3rd. That was that aggressive base running several plays where they scored, I think, on basically credit to the error. That could be it here.
Little flare, the shortstop Walraven makes the catch. And the Bravehearts win the opener 4-3. Andy, we talked at the beginning of the show, some new faces, some familiar faces, you know, guys gelling, working together. They look good tonight.
Perfect game to start things out. You make some mistakes, but you pitch and you pitch and you pitch well. And they pitched well all the way through. Got a key heart by a hit, the home run, which is the difference. Great way to start the season.
All right, for our producer-director Sean Grady, for Andy Lacombe, I'm Kevin Shea. The Worcester Bravehearts victorious here tonight, 4-3 over the Bristol Blues. Just a reminder, Worcester News Tonight is coming up at 10 o'clock. Thanks for watching, everyone. So long from Hanover Insurance Park.